Everyone, my name is Ronan Perez. I'm French engineer. I'm really passionate about innovation, science, new technology, society, and geopolitics. And in this video, I'm gonna talk to you about our near future around 2030. I gathered a lot of books, articles, and other videos on internet to get the best content for you. And really, I don't try to make an hypothetical future. I'm more based on what are the big trends of our world today and on what people are working on, leading to a probable version of the future. So this is my approach, my method. So to quote Usama Amar, before it happens, it seems impossible. After it happened, it seems obvious. First, let's understand quickly our present to better understand the future. We are today in the digital era. It's not a digital transition, but a digital revolution. It is happening fast and in every field. It has a deep root, a deep inspiration, the fact that every human is equal. Everyone has a voice that counts and can give his opinion at scale. This is why the democratic system exists, and this is why everyone uses internet. This digital revolution first transformed pure digital companies, such as Google, Facebook, Spotify, and now companies with more material goods, such as Uber, who need cars, for example. So, at the opposite of the industrial era, which was characterized by the centralization, the digital era decentralized the production, the distribution, and the financing. We connect producers directly to customers. So what will be our next era? It will be the knowledge era. Automation will bring abundance and things will be much cheaper. We could soon live in a planet of abundance where food, energy, transportation, and other things are unlimited, clean, and nearly free. We will enter, maybe in 20 years, in a post-capitalism era, where the hold of money on our society will diminish, while goods and services are becoming less valuable and demonetized. Knowledge is becoming increasingly valuable. Knowledge is the new money. And with knowledge available everywhere through books, internet, YouTube, anything we'll want to learn, we'll be able to learn it. And we will educate ourselves all our lives. We will educate ourselves all our lives. Not only until 22 years old. Because in a world less and less predictable, the only way to be always ready is to adapt ourselves by advancing our knowledge and skills base. To shift our focus from being overly obsessed with money to a more savvy and realistic quest for knowledge, we need to stop thinking that we only acquire knowledge from 5 to 22 years old and that we can get a job and mentally coast through the rest of our lives if we work hard. To survive and thrive in this new era, we must constantly learn. It's also why degrees have less importance than before, because they are not the end of your learning way anymore. In 2030, we will be 8.5 billion people, and poverty will keep decreasing. So we will have to produce more food, more energy, more goods, more buildings, etc. But if we do not fight global warming, it will engender more natural disasters, war, displacements of millions of people, and make life on Earth harder. Something like Mad Max. So our big challenge is to produce more greener. Produce more greener. Thanks for the planet, the major contributors to climate change are already turning greener. Electric production is the biggest contributor to climate change. But before the end of the century, oil, gas, and coal will end. So we will be obliged, sooner or later, to turn to a sustainable energy era based on zero carbon energy, such as nuclear energy and renewable energy, wind, solar, hydro, geothermal, ocean, and biomass. 21st century will run solar. We are today at the beginning of what will be a tremendous energy. Solar will may be able to bring unlimited, clean, and nearly free energy to the world. We have two choices. We wait 40-50 years to turn to this sustainable energy era and Mad Max scenario could happen. Or we commit to make this change today. Worldwide, people commit to fight climate change today. Agriculture will have to produce more greener. Precision agriculture is the solution. With lots of data about the farm, an AI, artificial intelligence, will tell the farmer what to do, when and where, with accuracy. Accessible to big and small farms, precision agriculture will increase the crop production by 30% and decrease the amount of chemicals and pollution emitted. It will also reduce the amount of water used. Agriculture using 70% of fresh water, it will make a big difference. Within cities, continuous food and vertical farms will help to produce more greener. In the building industry, we'll have to produce more buildings and build them more sustainable. We'll see more buildings with solar panels and made of wood. For cost reduction, more buildings will be 3D printed. Transportation will go greener thanks to electric vehicles. All automakers are now turning electric, and due to autonomous vehicles, it will be much safer. Every year, due to road accident, 1.25 million people die and 20 to 50 million are injured, which any incurring a disability. At the opposite of the previous sectors, we won't have to produce more vehicles greener, but to transport more people in a greener way. To do so, we will transport more people in less vehicles by sharing the vehicles. By 2025, car ownership will end. Cars will be shared with different people 24 hours on 24. With sharing, prices will drop. So in less than 3 decades, traveling by car will be like taking the elevator. Autonomous, electric, shared. Will we have flying cars? Uber are thinking about it, but I don't think so. Instead, I prefer the idea of Elon Musk of going under the city through multiple layers of tunnel, which increase the circulation flow a lot, and it's less dangerous and noisy. So currently, the Boring company is digging such tunnels in the USA. They finished the first one. So anyway, on the surface, we'll see less cars, making cities denser and greener. The challenge for cities will be to host more citizens while being greener. For the long distances, we'll travel inside pods going at a really high speed through vacuum tubes. The system called Hyperloop will cut travel time, San Francisco to LA or Paris to London in 30 minutes, for example. For the very long distances, we will use reusable rockets on Earth to cut travel time. These rockets will bring you to a point A, from a point A to a point B anywhere on Earth in less than 1 hour, 30 minutes in average. The tunnels, the Hyperloop, and the rockets are projects boosted by one man, Elon Musk. For goods transportation, we will see an increase in drones delivery. An Hyperloop system will be applied to cargoes and revolutionize freight. Transportation will be faster, greener, safer, and cheaper. But transportation won't stop to Earth. We'll soon be a multiplanetary species. And it will start with Mars. First crew will land on Mars in 2024. By 2040, 1 million people should live on the red planet. Being multiplanetary preserves humanity in case of a catastrophe scenario occurring on Earth and inspire all of us, gathering humans around a highest goal. Thanks to distances becoming less an issue, people will connect physically more often. Phone voice translation technology will end language barrier. which will accelerate globalization and businesses all around the world. We will also be more virtually connected, with more people having access to internet. We are 3 billion people connected today on internet. In 2025, we will be 8 billion people. Virtual money, cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin will become more popular and will pay more and more through our phones, as it is the case in China. But with lots of connected objects, surveillance cameras, and our digital connection, it will tend to a loss of privacy, as we know it today. In this world, everyone will have a scandal. So the very idea of what is scandalous has to change. What is more worrying is the use of big data in a way that doesn't respect the citizens' freedom. Example, China Black Mirror scenario with the recording and scoring of its citizens, Cambridge Analytica, a company which used big data obtained illegally from millions of people to influence US election in favor of Donald Trump, their clients, sometimes by using fake news. It was also a matter of privacy in this case. In a world more connected, country boundaries will be less present than today. We'll see more cyber attacks. Some malintentioned people will try to hack a robot, a drone, or an autonomous car into a killing object. The demand of cybersecurity will never stop to increase. So big data, cybersecurity, AI, robotics, genomics will be the big industries of the next decade. And this industry will have more broadly distributed centers of innovation and wealth than this was the case with Silicon Valley, which dominated any newcomer in the last 20 years. Why? Because any place in the world with a domain expertise in a specific field, by adding big data on it, can become a huge company. But if the people with the domain expertise wait too long, a 28 years old from the Silicon Valley will take the spot. So in a business world that is growing more global, multicultural fluency will be increasingly important. Multicultural, so important. Let's talk about medicine. We'll see a lot of new advancements in medicine. Artificial earth, nanorobots, healing cells, surgeon AI, and xenotransplantation, which is pig's organs replacing human organs. We will also use big data to know when you think, what to do as activity, what to eat, etc. But the next big thing in medicine, and the next $1 trillion industry will be genomics. Today, a doctor prescribes drugs on instinct and experience, and hope it's good for you. But tomorrow, based on your DNA, you will have a treatment made just for you, making it a lot more efficient. Sequence DNA will cure some form of cancer and mental illnesses. We will be able to find a cancer and heal it before it happens, because DNA mutations turn into cancer. So if you find the mutation, you find the cancer and you can heal it. On the backside, genomics could lead to designer babies. We'll be able to know his eye color, size, weight, his talent, his illnesses, what could kill him, etc. It can bring anxiety for people to knowing and influence the child's future. To sum it up, thanks to medicine progress, we'll live longer, healthier, medicine will be more accurate and accessible to more people. Now let's talk about AI and robotics, two big industries of the future. Artificial intelligence, AI, is the intelligence of machines. It is about designing machines that can think. The robot is the hardware made of physical material that you can touch. The AI is the software, the brain, purely digital. And when I talk about robots, I don't talk only about humanoids. For example, in industries of surgery or like mechanic industries, like robots look more like a big mechanic arm, just displacing things, not or doing an action, not like a human. So we'll have to learn how to live with robots in the next decade. Our grandparents too, because we will see a lot and learn more elder care robots because we are being older. So as they will be cheaper than lowest wage workers, we'll see more robots in our companies. We'll see a human-robot collaboration as the production of the two is more efficient than humans alone or robots alone. Human-robot collaboration. Robots will help humans by doing things like boring, repetitive tasks or carrying heavy stuff, allowing humans to focus more on a more rewarding and human aspect of the job. When employed to carry out dangerous tasks, the risk to human health and safety is reduced. Robots are an updated version of the slave labor in the past centuries. Robots will also do things that humans can't do. They are already starting to do accurate surgery, but they will soon help fails with nanorobots, make a disabled walk, and a deaf or mute talk. We will enter in an augmented age where computers will increase our human capabilities. We will see a competition between humans and AI. While lots of jobs will be replaced by automation, it is more probable that human-robot collaboration will be the most dominant case, and new jobs that do not exist today will be created. So people won't be unemployed. They will do something else. And while jobs with less skills could be replaced by robots, in the same time we will have more qualified people and we will need some. But whereas to be afraid by automation, here is a true story. In Roma, 50% of the population was carrying water. Then they invented the aqueduct, and citizens worked on other stuff. It will be incredible today to carry water. Today is the same with AI, but at scale. The first to talk about it was Aristotle, Politics 400 years before Christ. He wrote that automats will replace the work of men, and men will spend more time on superior tasks. 400 years before Christ. AI will accentuate the great paradox of our era. Productivity at record levels, which an innovation which has never been faster, and yet at the same time, median income falls and we have fewer jobs. This is our paradox. 150 years ago, people were working 60 hours per week. Today it is around 40. Tomorrow it will be less, allowing people to do other activities. Our society will be less focused on work and more on personal enhancement. We will have more creativity and social interaction. People will be more fulfilled because they work more on what interests them. In the tomorrow economy, government's challenge will be to keep their people competitive. With $1 billion of wealth that will be produced due to automation, the question of universal basic income will increasingly come into the political debates, and governments will have to reinvest the wealth in education and skills development to form their citizens to new skills. For the people without job, they will not have to wait for governments to help them, because governments generally adapt slower than markets. People will have to learn new skills by themselves first. But in a knowledge era where the knowledge is available everywhere, they will be able to do it. Digital broke the rule of the 4 work unities. What are the 4 work unities? Time, place, action, status. But today, people are able to sell their skills directly on the internet. It's not mandatory to work in a company anymore. And with the fear to lose your one and only job, people tend to have multi-jobs, multi-sources of revenues, multi-clients, multi-employers. There are multi-skills and multi-language, like a physical language like English or Spanish, or a scientific language like C++, Python. They get them ready in case of a bad scenario. Companies will have less employees, but will work with more people from the outside as consultants on specific projects. With less work hours and more time for themselves. One of the great questions will soon be, how am I useful? What is my purpose in life? Basic income won't resolve everything because people don't just want money. They want to contribute to society, to be good. But as our lives revolve around our work, what happens when work starts to diminish or disappear? More people will feel depressed, and some sense of protest of people trying to shut down tech companies could happen. On one end, AI could enhance humans' life, making every human equal, fight climate change, helping us produce more, greener, and improve our societies at an exponential speed. On the other hand, AI could destroy humanity, its creator. We are rapidly going towards digital superintelligence that far exceed any human. Singularity is coming. Singularity is a moment when AI is equal to human brain, predicted between 2029 and 2045. And the problem is that we do not really understand AI right now. According to Elon Musk, an immortal robot-like dictator could rise from scientific research. If a company or a small group of people manage to develop a godlike superintelligence, they could take over the world, and AI will have the power to rule on mankind forever. This dictator wouldn't have to be evil to pose a threat, but if AI has a goal and humanity happens to be in the way, it will destroy humanity without even thinking about it. No hard feelings. It can be comparable to humans building a road and an anthill appears on the way. We don't hate ants. We're just building a road. So we'll kill the anthill. The anthill. Sorry. We see that AI can bring the best and the worst in our world. And what is scary but also exciting is that we do not know what AI will do. So in order to limit the worst scenario, we can't let AI decide. For that, we need strict regulations on AI and to always understand what the AI is doing, not just following it. On TV news, we see shootings, terrorism, inequalities, pollution, dictatorship, war, nuclear weapons, automation replacing our jobs, killer AI, etc. It is really easy to be caught on what is negative in the world, but it is also important to see the good and the truth and realize that mankind is improving years after years. Worldwide, women, children, homosexual, and people with handicap have more rights and better conditions than ever before. We live longer than before. We are healthier, wealthier, smarter, safer, and happier than before. Less people are enslaved, killed, or oppressed by other humans. We learn more. We have less infant mortality. More children are going to school. Less are obliged to work. We have more doctors, more potable water, and more literate people. Less countries use capital debt. We nearly found famine. The life level of emerging countries raised, and the world poverty decreased. In China, poverty went from 88% in 1981 to 3% in 2017. Extreme poverty decreased. World has never been as democratic. 2/3 of countries are now democracies. Our world is more connected too. It's more greener and has never been as peaceful as today, as less violent. We have less homicide, death, and we have less wars and less kill people in wars. Recently, North Korea stopped its nuclear test and is starting peace process with South Korea. With wars keeping diminished, autonomous vehicles being safer, turn out to sustainable energy, progress in medicine and agriculture will avoid millions of deaths and live longer. So this trend of this positive number will still keep going, even if in the TV news you think it's going down. No, it's not. It's just that in your day you don't see it. Also, thanks to big data, we'll see faster developing economies all around the world because the wealth will be spread all around the world. So countries and cities who will success in the future will be the ones who adapt and invest in the technology of the future, like genomics, AI, robotics, big data, cybersecurity, for sure. But also the ones open to the world, economically, politically, culturally. Free flow of ideas and goods will create attractive places to live and work. The 20th century opposed communism versus capitalism countries. The 21st century opposed open versus closed countries. Example: after Russia fell, Belarus closed its country and is now in a really bad position. At the opposite, Estonia opened up to the world and went digital. Digital government, taxes, voting, medical system, e-residency, world fastest internet speed, children learn coding. Estonia has today a high standard of living and is one of the most advanced countries in the world. With digital, Silicon Valley generated wealth and employment, but Estonia shows that we can do more and enhance our civic and political life too. So we need to stop asking about the next Silicon Valley and start asking about the next Estonia, as Alec Ross says in his book, The Big Industries of the Future. Same happened to Rwanda. They went from an horrific genocidal battleground in 1994 to a thriving nation welcoming tourists with broadband internet. So if Rwanda did it, every country can do it. One of the biggest challenges for the countries will be to always stay open to the world and to not close them. In a connected world where country boundaries have less meaning than ever, and where AI replaces jobs, lots of people will want to make their country great again, as it was in the past. But as we saw, the past wasn't better, it was worse. And these people, they will turn to political parties promoting protectionism, but being closed is not the solution. Because we saw the solution is to being open. So countries have to be open on the world, but also to their young people and their women, by enabling them and giving them more responsibility. Women are 50% of your potential workforce. You need it. To conclude, in 2030, we are in a sustainable era where all the 8.5 billion people live longer and healthier, tend to be equal and be fed. We have less death from wars, car accidents, starving. Every sector produces more, greener, fighting global warming. Wealth is more equitably worldwide spread. The world is greener, more connected, less focused on money, but more on knowledge and digital, and hence our political and civic lives as Estonia did. We are multiplanetary, multicultural, multi-language, multi-jobs, multi-skills. We are in a knowledge era where we spend more time on superior tasks and educate ourselves all our life. From my point of view, it looks like an updated version of the Renaissance, a Renaissance 2.0. And Renaissance was an amazing period of history, which made me feel confident for our future. No matter the place that robots and AI will take in our world, it has always been, it is, and it will always be about people. A lot of bad events could happen. The worst is AI taking control of our world, yeah. But humanity proved that we are learning from our errors and continuously improving, same if it's hard to see it in our everyday life. Progress improved our lives, and it will keep doing it. Progress is not a miracle, but it is problem solving. And by solving problems with progress, we create new ones that we need to resolve them. I am really excited to be alive in this period, aren't you? Thanks for watching, guys. It was my first video, guys and girls. Sorry. Yeah. Enjoy.